A whopping 76% have responded, no, now is not a good time to buy a house. And the reasons for that? Every month, Fannie Mae does their own version of the Family Feud, where they ask 1,000 people different questions regarding housing, sellers, buyers, you name it. And one of the questions they ask is now a good time to buy a house. And according to the answers for this, they call it the Home Purchase Sentiment Index. I think they need a different name, but that's what they're going with. A whopping 76% have responded, no, now is not a good time to buy a house. And the reasons for that, they're saying higher interest rates and elevated home values. Now, is this a cause for concern? Is now really a bad time to buy a house? Well, let's talk about some contrarian point of views on this. One is I personally think it's a good time to buy a house. Yes, it'd be nicer if interest rates are lower, but the higher interest rates have caused a few different things. The competition is far less right now than where it was even a handful of months ago. When there's less competition, you're seeing some things that are in the favor of buyers. You're seeing some price reductions, and you're seeing a lot more sellers giving large seller concessions in order to attract buyers. So it's a great way to get in with low or no closing costs because the seller is covering those costs, or even getting a 2-1 or a 3-2-1 buy down. So you have less competition, you have sellers that are more willing to wheel and deal to get their home sold. But here's another thing. If you love a house, and this is a house you absolutely need, take advantage of those things, with the less competition, but rates are going to come down. And when they do come down, many lenders are offering low to no closing cost options on those refinances. So by the time interest rates come down on there, if you're waiting for interest rates to come down, all those millions of buyers get back in the market, and what happens? Competition goes up, seller concessions go away, and prices continue to increase. So right now is a great time, actually, to buy a home. One of the scariest things for home buyers right now is the potential for wire fraud. Think about it. You spend all this time searching for houses, writing an offer, negotiate, getting an accepted offer, doing your mortgage paperwork, you get your closing costs, your down payment, you wire it to the title company, go to the title company, only to realize that you didn't send it to the title company. Your buyer sent all their funds to some fraudster who now has their money, and the buyer is unfortunately without their money. So wire fraud is a big problem in this country, and it's continued to increase. So let's talk about one, how wire fraud is typically initiated, and two is what can buyers do to help prevent them from becoming victims of wire fraud. So let's talk about how it's usually orchestrated. The most common way is through email, where a fraudster will mimic the email address of a title rep, a realtor, a loan officer, an attorney, and send the buyer wiring instructions that are obviously not the legitimate wiring instructions, but the buyer ends up wiring their funds to that fraudster. Another way a fraudster does it, where they'll hack into the email server of a realtor, a loan officer, a title rep, an attorney, and send a legitimate email from that account to the buyer, but of course with false instructions. Also, fraudsters will actually sometimes call the buyer and say, hey, I'm with the title company, here's your wiring instructions, and give them false wiring instructions, or they will get the buyer to click on a link to fill out a form to send a wire, and then they just pull the money from that buyer's account. Again, all fraudulent. Now, what can a buyer do to help prevent this? One, a big one when it comes to email, never trust an email of any kind with wiring instructions. Even if it's coming from the legitimate email on there, that email could have been hacked. So what a buyer should do is, if they can, go to the title company in person, if they're able to get the wiring instructions in person. If that's not doable, then the buyer themselves should call the title company and get the wiring instructions over the phone. Never trust an incoming call, because an incoming call, even with the caller ID, can be falsified. When it comes to clicking links, be absolutely sure it's a safe link. Same thing when it comes to downloading or clicking on any attachments. So you want to make sure you have all the latest antivirus and security software that is possible for your computer. So help your clients out, making sure they're not victims of wire fraud, because once that money is gone, it's gone.
The rates are a little bit higher this week. Oh no! What's happening? What's happening out there? Well, we're looking for a stronger job market. We're looking for millennials, especially, and down, to get ready for this next wave of home purchases. So We just need rates to come down a little bit, increase affordability, and then be ready because it's going to be a fun and wild ride. Okay, we always want to go over opportunities. And this week in opportunities, let's talk about Facebook, let's talk about business pages, personal pages, and what you should be doing. So of course you want a business page. Of course you want to have that out there. But there's things that they're not allowing anymore, such as marketplace, right? You've got to put those listings on from a personal page. So use both when appropriate. Keep that business page, but make sure to use your personal page to grow your listings and to also grow your business.